Night is cold, but your heart's colder. I will wait for you. The glitch in your eyes pulled me under, but I will wait for you. There's nothing left for me to do than run and act myself a fool. No point in trusting anyone. Your eyes of diamonds keep me up. Never thought that it could be this rough. No point in trusting anyone.
When the night is over, my life is over. 'Cause I start thinking again about our time together. When the night is over, my life is over. 'Cause I start thinking again about our time together. start thinking again about our time.
And here we are. Welcome to the Reverie Esports League of Legends Open number 49. I am your caster for the night, James Effect FX Sanchez. You just call me Effect or James. Tonight, starting off for our first semifinal match, is going to be Supernova facing off against Desperado Gaming on the blue and red side, respectively. And for the first ban, we have Swain. Don't see Birdman banned too often, but he's been doing pretty well lately. Don't mind me opening my soda here. And, of course, we also see a Vladimir ban, since his little buff. He's been consistently a big healing god. So you see quite a few more bans on him now. I really haven't had too many chances to play myself. On top of Overwatch, I've had some personal issues that have delayed my playtime, so I have not had the opportunity to keep up too much. Maokai and Trundle are our next bans. Both two top lane juggernauts, tanks. I guess not really juggernauts. That's an actual thing in League. Not that we actually see them played. Ooh, excuse me. Maybe I'll keep the music on since I'm casting by myself. You can turn it off in game. We'll just keep it nice and quiet. That way you guys can still hear me. Let me know in the chat if I need to change anything. Last bans are Kindred and Nidalee, so mages, basically mage, tank. I guess Trundle's more of a bruiser than a tank. He gets tanky, to be fair, and then two junglers, Kindred and Nidalee. Of course, Kindred's power is well known, and Nidalee in a skilled player's hands can be the huge pain. Be louder. Try up my mic a little bit. Test. Is it just him, or is anyone else not hearing me very well? See if I can add a... For Supernova's first picked, they start off with Zyra, who, of course, did, in the Mage update, receive a nice little change. She's actually pretty frustrating to play against now. Alrighty, let's see if I can get that. That's too. That's muted. That's too loud. That's about as quiet as it's gonna get. Hopefully, you guys can hear me now. Okay, back. Now that I'm done adjusting that, let's get back to the champion select. I was kind of distracted there, apparently. And we have Graves and Nami being selected on Desperado Gaming side. And we're back over to Supernova, who are hovering on Braum currently. Seen a lot of old faces here. Haven't seen some in a while. Of course, Supernova and Desperado Gaming, we have seen them in the past. Aurelia. This might be the first time we've seen Aurelia in a streamed game for this tournament. Very interesting. Definitely look forward to that. I like it when there's some variation in the picks. We do see Azir being locked in. Whew, excuse me. Of course, Azir did receive some pretty hefty buffs. Or not buffs. Nerfs. Pretty hefty nerfs last patch. So, very interested to see how well they can play around that. Kennen being hovered over. That's another pick we almost never see. Very amazing. It's a lot of fun. They're also hovering on Caitlyn, who we do see frequently. And they lock Caitlyn in. And they lock Kennen in. That's three picks that we don't see frequently. We don't see Zyra, we don't see Aurelia, and we don't see Kennen very much. And right now, Supernova is hovering on the Vayne. And I'm not sure that's going to be the best pick against Caitlyn. It looks like they're going to be using a support Zyra. And they did lock in Lee Sin, so that is very likely Lee Sin jungle. Lee Sin's on and off. Of course, Lee Sin in good hands can still be a huge threat, but his mechanical skill cap, I guess, to be like considered amazing. You don't see him too frequently. There's a lot of safer picks. And he isn't as strong as some junglers until level 6, of course. No, of course, he still has a strong invade. And now we are on... Wow, that was a fast hover, at least. They haven't locked it in yet, but they're hovering on LeBlanc, who, of course, we see every once in a while. I think the last week we saw LeBlanc, who was evaporating people. It was quite amazing, actually. And we are locked in. Everybody is going to be adjusting their characters. I don't want to drop that. Throw that away. Okay, then. I don't think they're going to switch around anymore. So we're going to go ahead and assume this is where everybody is going to get lined up at. In the top lane, we have Cavell, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, on Aurelia, facing off against Energy on Kennen. Nice name, Secure. You usually don't see names like that secured, like somebody took effect. Somebody who needs to give it to me. I almost said something violent. In the jungle, we have Jack Sparrow 111, or is it I? We're just gonna call him Jack Sparrow. On Lee Sin, and he's facing off against Arrow with an E at the end on Graves. In the mid lane, we have Moriatis, LFT, looking for team, on Azir, facing off against Bladia 2 on LeBlanc. And, of course, last but most certainly not least, in the bottom lane, we have Yanira? Is he wanting to be Renee? Yenir. God. Weird names. Yenir on Lucian, partnering up with Gremmy on Zyra, and they're facing off against Fairfar's World. I can't say it. Fairfar's World on Caitlyn, partnering up with TC Too Cold on Nami. You people and your names. And with that, we will be taking a very, very, very small break while we wait for the champion select to spam advertisements at you. I am sorry. We'll be back shortly. And we are into the loading screen to see all these nice and beautiful borders and skins. We see some Challenger, Diamond, and somebody with no border. Poor TC2 Cole being left out in the cold. I guess it's his own fault for not playing ranked. Or maybe it's a new account or something. Ooh. And to start us off, we do see some very nice skins. You see... Oh, there we go. Let me change that. Make sure everybody is in the correct slot. Ah. Look at Supernova all being all nice and lined up already for me. And they are going right out of the gate. Looks like we're just going to have a regular line of scrimmage with Blantia, little AFK. Might be munching on something, not paying attention.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Cannot say I blame him personally. Ooh, this should be a very good game. I'm very much forward to seeing how well these two teams compete against each other. It's just a standard line of scrimmage. Looks like both junglers are going to start at Gromp. If I had to guess. The only one who isn't in the position is the mid laners. Mid laners are slacking. And this top lane is gonna be fun because I have not seen this matchup in a long time. It feels like we're back in season 3 or season 4. And it's gonna be fun. Probably gonna give the advantage to Aurelia. Cannon's gonna bully at first, but once Aurelia starts getting little items, it might turn in her favor. It's been a while, so I might be wrong on that. And of course, there are new items that can completely change that matchup all the way around.
Onward.
I don't think I've experimented at all with the new items. And on the bottom, we did see Supernova's bottom lane take the tiny golem. I guess that gives them a little bit of XP, but I'm not sure if it was worth it. But yes, both junglers did start at Gromp, and they're going right for the blues. Look to see how well Grimmy plays this Zyra. Getting some good harassing already. They're proccing the Thunderlords. Cavell gets a little auto attack on energy, but energy is returning the favor very easily. Looks like Grimmy is being a huge threat to these guys. They have hit level 2. Yenny with the level did get I guess the tiny golem did give them a little bit of XP. A little harder. They can zone now. Very nice. Aurelia doing Aurelia things, queuing the minions. Use the old Blaze Surge. Too cold to get snared up. Could be in trouble. But nope, they are able to back out with the Desperado Gaming's bottom lane is definitely taking a beating at the moment. Why is my mic acting up? Give me a second. I thought I was fine, but I had the mic turned all the way up, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Add a filter. Add. Gain. How's that? That might be a lot louder. Alright, we completely missed the first blood while I was fiddling with my mic settings. Sorry. But we do see first blood going over to Supernova. And they were able to pick up that flash and ignite. That first blood going over to the Lee Sin. Not much different. Okay, let's see if I can readjust that more. We're going to bump it up to an extra 1.5. How's that? Testing, testing, testing. I'm not sure why this is being quiet. I was fine with my folks in Mumble. Let's try bumping up to 2. Testing, 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 testing. It's like Cavell is keeping up in CS in the top lane. but he is getting harassed a little bit by energy. In the bottom lane, despite the beating they were taking, looks like Fairfars is keeping up just fine, and CS is actually ahead a little bit. But Fairfars does get locked up by a little bit by a snare and takes a lot of damage, but he's still alive just fine, letting that Nami heal him up. That is the advantage that Nami has compared to Zyra, but Fairfars once again getting locked up by the CC. That could be it. There's the both flashes, one more auto tech, and there is a kill going to Zyra. They do force TC2 Cold's flash. Very well played by Gremmy and Yenny there. We're going to call him Yenny because I don't know how to pronounce his name. Right. Oh. Ladia doing a little juke there to avoid getting hit by the Azir soldiers. Moriatis, I believe that is how to pronounce that. Cavell getting a stun, gets one auto attack. So this could be bad for energy. He does get the stun off though, but he did drop very low. He's not careful. Things. See, Cavell is healing up. And energy does no longer have any potions, and he does use his ult. Oh, Cavell getting greedy. He wanted it, but he's in trouble now. Arrow is coming up for a gank. Oh, Cavell, you're so close. Arrow, you want it, but he does not get it. The minions are there to block some damage. Poor Graves not being able to shoot through minions. Lucky for Cavell, he did have the stun up. Blooddia getting harassed quite a bit here by soldiers. He does not land the snare. That landed snare, he probably would have killed Borealis there. Ooh. Soldier does proc the stealth. Both of them are playing a dangerous game here in that mid lane. You do see that Jack Sparrow there is doing a little invasion. He has taken those wolves and has smited the wolf camp to give them some vision. They do know exactly where Arrow's at right now, and Fairfar gets engaged on hard by Jack Sparrow and Yenny here. I do not believe he can get away. They're going to go for it. They are going to go ahead and chase down Arrow here. We get the slow, but they are not able to continue chasing. TC2 Cold is caught out. It does not have the flash. I wanted to help out, but unfortunately, not in the position he needed to be in. He was able to be picked up very easily there. Jack Sparrow is going to be able to get this blue buff nice and easily. They're going to give it to him. He's going to take it for himself. Get that energy regen. You see the Arrow is going to go ahead and go to the Raptor camp now, and he's going to kill that ward that's in the bush. Alrighty, in the top lane we do see things are progressing. Cavell's actually ahead in CS. He is a little lower in health, but that's not unexpected in this kind of matchup. He does get the stun off. He's going to go hard, but he does get stunned up. But energy is in trouble. The Sheen procs are too much combined with that true damage. And we see that Aurelia coming through like I expected, unfortunately. I know from experience that a squishy ranged top laner against Aurelia can be a massive pain once they get Sheen. Actually did not get to see what she was maxing first. I'm actually kind of curious. You see in the bot lane that Fairfar Worlds is still ahead. He's keeping up just fine. They're trying to do Supernova wants to do Rift Herald, but we do see Arrow is kind of hovering there on the map. He wants to deny it. It is kind of scary to try and do it with him hovering around. So they're going to go ahead and back off. Very smart. See, Arrow is trying to stop this back here. Cavell is in big trouble. There's not much he can do here. does not have the attack speed to sustain that damage. See Bladia going pretty hard on Moriatis. There is the exhaust. Bladia backing off though. Very good use of the exhaust to block that damage. Arrow getting engaged on by Jack Sparrow here. He is forced to flash, but I don't know if he can get away. He cannot. There is the ward hop and the ultimate for the execute. Very well played by Jack Sparrow. See, Jack Sparrow and Moriatis are going to start hitting this turret, do some damage to it. They went ahead and go and push it, looks like. They're going to go ahead and push this wave in, probably take this turret. See, Too Cold gets engaged on by Gremmy there, gets some good damage. Those plants. You see a ping. Ping onto the Supernova red buff. Probably just letting them know where he is going, I imagine. Or they want to give Yenny that red buff. Definitely a very real possibility. You see Aurelia working towards that Trinity Force, especially since they have changed Trinity Force no longer take Zeal and now takes Stinger. More attack speed, no crit. Very interesting. And of course it has more CDR now as well, which is awesome. So that's actually, I'd call it a buff for Aurelia. Not to say she couldn't use crit, but of course Cabell's getting some really solid damage on the energy there. You see a gank here in the bottom lane. Gremmy could be in trouble. He does flash the prison. He does pop his ult and return. Arrow barely gets out of the way. There is a teleport from Cavell though. They do pick up Arrow there. Here comes Bladia. Bladia flashes. But also, Yenny also managed to get away just fine. Very, very well played. That way he completely avoided getting bursted. Bladia does still have... Ooh, good flash by Fairfar Gold there. He got engaged hard on there by Cavell, but his good reaction time was able to get him out of harm's way. But they are all backing, so despite all that fun times, no one died. But right now, Supernova is in the lead pretty convincingly. They had a 4K gold lead and 6 kills and a dragon. During that whole process, we do see that Supernova also taken 2 mid turrets. Remy is going to get that snare. He does land it. There is the Q from Jack Sparrow, and they very easily pick up Too Cold there. Too Cold and not having the best time at the moment. They are ready for this blue buff. They're probably going to give it away to Moriatis here. Bladia trying to take out this Azir turret in the middle. It'll be a little frustrating to deal with. There is the Azir blue buff. As a process, Arrow is on the other side of the map. He is ready to take this blue buff on Supernova's side. Wants to get something out of it. They definitely need something here. They're struggling at the moment. You see the chat showing off some love for Gremmy. Gremmy is having a wonderful game at the moment. He's a plant. But he's no vegetable. We do see a gank in the top lane by Arrow. Does get the smite, but there is the stun from Cabell to disengage. Was not interested in a 2v1. He is sort of squishy at the moment. Without. He'll probably do fine in the one-on-ones with either of one of those, but he's not quite ready for the 2v1s. He has finished Trinity Force now, though, so that might change. They Supernova also gone ahead and taken that tier 2 bottom turret. They're going to head back here and continue to slowly try to close this game out. They're doing very well at the moment. Ooh, Energy does get engaged on here. There's the stun, but there is the ult. There's the Zanyas. Cavell, not even bothered by it. He's just going to go ahead and tank it out, wait for the Zanyas to wear off. Choice, unfortunately, not quite working out for him. I still love his name, though, not gonna lie. And Bladia Stealing camps. What a thief. You see that Supernova has rotated completely to the top lane. They're going to take that top turret. They're going to slowly push into the last tier 2 turret that Desperado Gaming has. This is not looking good for them. Every single lane is behind. Just slightly in some cases, but Aurelia and Jack Sparrow are both huge threats at the moment. Yenny, of course, on the Lucian, also a big threat with that Ghost Blade. There is the Trigger Shuffle. Does pin Too Cold, just barely against the wall. He's been turned into sushi. Sushi. I should go to a sushi restaurant. I haven't gone in a while. See, the arrow does get snared up there, taking a lot of damage. They have successfully pushed in, they being Supernova in this case, have successfully pushed in all the tier 2 turrets. Now they just need to whittle away at one of them. They're going to go ahead and do it to the mid turret. It does end up going down. They might be able to get an inhibitor before 15 minutes here. Blodia getting a nice little bit of poke onto Cavell there. Cavell didn't quite land the stun. At least not where he wanted it. That Supernova going to go ahead and play it safe. They are going to go ahead and back out. They're not interested in playing too aggressively and wiping out. They want to close this game out convincingly, it seems. They're going to go ahead and play it completely safe. They still have the option to take Rift Herald. It is not 20 minutes yet. Rift Herald would be huge on, especially on Cavell or Jack Sparrow. By the way, if anyone playing, if I'm butchering your name, feel free to correct me in chat. I'm certain I have offended some people by not knowing how to properly pronounce their names. I mean, some of them are already, like Jack Sparrow, Cold, Energy. See that there. Looks like Superman's going to go ahead and start working towards this inhibitor while Cavell split pushes. There's really not much Desperado Gaming can do here. There is the Nami ult from Too Cold, but it is just there to push them back. There's not much follow-up, unfortunately. Cavell is going to go ahead and push up to that top turret, trying to clear the wave out. Do see a ping onto that middle inhibitor. Desperado Gaming a slight loss. There is the Q from Jack Sparrow. It does land on the arrow. There's some soldiers coming in from Borealis. There is the engage by Energy. Gets a two-man stun. As the Zanyas, they do pick up Borealis there. But here comes Cavell from the back. Ooh, Jack Sparrow does get picked up by Fairfar's World. But Fairfar World is coming for blood. He does stun. I'm sorry, Cavell is up for blood. He does get stunned. Fairfar World. They do pick up him and Too Cold. That is a 4-man wipe. Only Energy is out. That was a good engage by Energy, but there's just such a huge gold difference right now. Well, Yenny is going to go ahead and abandon Gremmy there. Gremmy having to walk the long way around. There, looks like the Supernova is going to go ahead and push up to the turret and back out. Except for Cavell. Cavell's just going to hit this turret. It's a little dangerous. This could be bad. Nope, he is going to go ahead and back out after he sees them approaching the turret. Playing it safe. They did get some good hits into that turret. They still have time to do Rift Herald, but I don't even see. It seems like they don't even want it or need it. Cavell is going to go ahead and take some jungle camps to it. Red buff is up. He does have good vision around there, but that's still really risky. Oh, he wants it. Oh, he does so much damage. Fairfar World gets melted. Energy also melting, as it turns out. But, ooh, good dodge. He does not get locked up by Too Cold. disengaging very nicely. But while that's happening, we see that the rest of Supernova is pushing up in other lanes. And with no Fairfar's World, they're definitely going to struggle here. He is a pretty significant portion of their DPS. And we see that the Rift Herald once again ignored and has returned to the Void. Very sad that he has no friends. We do see that this bottom turret, Desperado Gaming's bottom inhibitor turret, gets just melted. We do see a teleport going out of Cavell here, but he is going to get stunned up instantly. Very nice placement on the trap from Fairfarwell to get that snare, but Fairfarwell gets evaporated. He flashes out immediately. That did so much damage. Jesus. So, haven't seen Aurelia in so long. It's a huge surprise how much burst damage he can deal. And gonna go ahead and pick up Arrow there very easily. And there is the Suprema Shuffle. They're gonna pick up Fairfarwell. Sorry, they're gonna pick up Bloodzia and Too Cold. Fairfarwell is still up. He was not there. He did not get Suprema Shuffled. But there is the stun from Cavell, and it's gonna be a ace. And it's gonna be a 21 minute wipe by Supernova. They just completely took control of the game from start to finish. A valiant attempt by Desperado Gaming to make a comeback, but it just wasn't quite enough. There's obvious difference in experience from some of these lanes. And with that, we will be jumping in. Let me go ahead and move out here. See where the other game is at, see if it's ended. Where's my bracket at? Refresh. The other side of the bracket, I don't think we had a chance to talk about it, was once my page refreshes, please. Try it again. Oops, something is wrong. Yes. It was the Chaos Vanguard versus Polar G, teams we have seen before. And it seems like the Chaos Vanguard has succeeded in moving on to the finals. So our final match is going to be the Chaos Vanguard versus Supernova. I already have my code. So let me go ahead and join the lobby, adjust my overlay. Just give me a moment. Bear with me here. Not literally. Don't use a bear. Bears eat people. That's not entirely true, but... That's Rapid Casting. Haven't seen him in a while. Welcome. Where is my overlay? There we are. We should have the Chaos Vanguard starting off on the blue side, if I'm reading the bracket correctly, with Supernova on the red side. Alrighty. Lots of familiar names. We are happy to have both the Chaos Vanguard and Supernova back once again. This may... I have to go back and watch look at some of the other brackets, but I think this is a matchup we've seen in the finals before. I might be mistaken. It's been a while. Let me go ahead and... Oop, shoot. Almost hit a button that I shouldn't hit. That would be bad. Okay, let me just go ahead and let them know I'm ready when they are. They're probably... Some of them might need a little bathroom break after that. Understandable completely. Whew. I'm going to go ahead and actually take this opportunity to... Actually, no, I lied. I still have some soda left, so I will not get another soda. I'm about to be wasteful. That's not good. It's a bad habit. Hopefully this doesn't take long. Hopefully we can jump into Champions League nice and quickly. We can get these games rolling to the finals of our Reverie Esports Open number 49. The Chaos Vanguard versus Supernova, best of 3. Looks like we have everyone in the lobby. Looks like some of the folks are adjusting themselves in where they want to be once the Champions League starts. Ah, yes, the return of Solo Q Bus Rider and Gangster ADC, some of my favorite players from the Chaos Vanguard. And the silence could get awkward if I don't keep talking. It's weird. We should have a permanent co-caster very shortly. I have actually been introduced to someone, but unfortunately it was kind of short notice that he's not here tonight. Hopefully next week we will have him, and I believe we should possibly be switching to Sundays, so keep that in mind. Oh, somebody left. Man, guys are killing me. I guess I can go and take this opportunity to plug our sponsors real quick for those of you who don't know. First off, we do have... Oh, he's back. I'm going to do this real quick before they jump into Champions League. First off, our first sponsor is Battlefly, which is basically the website we use to create our brackets. You sign up there, very easy to use. You can use it for multiple tournaments. Very simple. Second off, we do have LOL History app, which is basically a summoner lookup tool for Android and iOS. It's very, very easy to use. It's just like NA.OPGG, basically, for the phone. And last, but certainly not least, not by any stretch, is Vibby, which is a way to create highlight reels without software. You just go to their website, which is Vibby, V-I-B-B-Y, and you can basically plug in a video into their website, and you can make a highlight reel from their website. It's very convenient, very easy to use. And with that, looks like we see people readying up. I'm going to go ahead and remind them that I am also ready. Hopefully we can jump into Champions Select nice and quickly. I'm repeating myself. It's all in good humor, though. And there we go. We do see, once again, for anyone who's just showing up, we have the Chaos Vanguard on blue side and Supernova on red side. This is a best of 3 of our finals. And for starting off, we see a Aurelia ban, most certainly targeted at Cavell. Cavell had a amazing game on Aurelia, obviously showing quite a bit. That's the thing is that, to answer that chat, is that you have to download those programs. Vibby, you don't need to download anything. You do it all from their website. That's not to say that I don't think they have as strong editing tools, but for people who don't want to illegally download something, they can just use the Vibby's website. And of course, it's very simple to use. And of course, we do see lots of other bands. We see Swain, LeBlanc, Rek'Sai, Victor. Some of these are standard, some of these are not. Of course, our Aurelia band is definitely not standard, but I believe from that performance we can safely say Cavell would have a strong presence on Aurelia. And we see Solo Q Bus Rider locking in that Gragas extremely quickly. Easy, $500. Yeah, I bought Sony Vegas once. I still have it actually installed, but it's a really old copy now. It's like 8 or 9. They're probably on 20 or something now, I don't know. It wasn't that expensive though, to be fair. It was pretty decently priced. I think I got it on sale or something. Probably wasn't the newest version at the time. We see Jack Sparrow does lock in that Nidalee. They did take a little time to decide what they wanted, but once they hovered the Nidalee, they locked it in instantly. So we get to see how well he does on Nidalee, since he was not able to play it last game. He was playing that Lee Sin. And he had a pretty strong game on Lee Sin as well, so I look forward to seeing how well he does on a champion such as Nidalee, who also has strong invades. We also see Cavell did lock in the Maokai. Yeah, see, that's just how software works, I guess. Of course, I bought that copy of Sony Vegas when I was still in high school, which was 7, 8 years ago now. Jesus, I'm getting old. And we do see on the side... Ooh, excuse me, almost burped. On the side of the Chaos Vanguard, we do see Azir get locked in pretty quickly, and after a moment's consideration, Hyun does lock in the Trundle to counterpick the Maokai. No, I'm not. I'm in the 20s, but it's won't be long before I hit 30, unfortunately. what's my elo? God. Unfortunately, I am right now silver 1, but I have not played hardly at all. I think I've just played enough to get silver. My peak was season 3. I was diamond 4. And then after that point, I just quit playing. I need to take a little time and play. I just haven't had time lately. And on the side of the Chaos Vanguard's the other side. On the side of Supernova, we do see a very interesting pick of boosted. No, I was never boosted. I have credentials to back up everything there because I was actually did some analyst work for a couple of different teams. I did some work for Elements when he was still trying to work in that kind of area, and then I also worked for Coast for a little bit. That was fun. We did see Vel'Koz being locked in, which is interesting. We don't see Vel'Koz very often. I look forward to seeing that. And of course, Yenny not taking Lucian this time. He's going to go ahead and use Ashe. Very interesting. Gangster ADC. Last time we saw him play, he did play Lucian, but he's not taking it this time. It seems he's going to hover on Jinx and lock it in. Very interesting. You don't see very much Ashe, so I actually look forward to seeing Ashe in action. And we see also that Mur has locked in the Braum. Gangster ADC and Mur make a pretty good how you be a announcer. Let's see. When I was living in Oklahoma still, one time I went to a local tournament, and they needed someone to announce. And after my team lost, I just sort of picked it up. And from there, I started doing announcers permanently for these tournaments. And then that's just kind of how I did it. And then, yeah. I'm not very good, I don't think. I do all right, I guess, but just a matter of practice. We see that Grimmy went ahead and locked in that Zyra again. That's a combo we haven't seen in a long time. Ashe, Zyra, bot lane. Something Cloud9 used to do in their heyday. No, it's not about the ranking. I just don't think I'm as good a caster as some people. I'm one of those people who thinks that when it comes to something like this, rank is actually kind of irrelevant. And okay, so now that everybody is locked in, we're going to go ahead. We're actually entering our 3-minute delay just now. In the top lane, we have Solo Cube Bus Rider on Trundle, facing off against Cavell on the Maokai. Troll against Tree. In the jungle, we have Hyun 2 on Gragas, facing off against Jack Sparrow 111. At least I think those are 1. Could be Eyes. Not sure. On Nidalee. In the mid lane, we have TD on Azir, facing off against Moriatis LFT on Vel'Koz. And, of course, last but most certainly not least, in the bottom lane, we have Gangster ADC on Jinx, partnering up with MIR Mur on Braum, facing off against Yennyar, which is a really silly name, because I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, on Ashe, partnering up with Grammy on the Zyra, who had an amazing game last time on that Zyra, doing lots of harass. So, and with that, we are actually going to be jumping into a tiny break. I'm going to go ahead and show off some of our advertisements. We'll have some music. We'll be back shortly. And here we are. We're back. Here is the loading screen. We can see all everybody with their pretty borders. This is once again the finals for the Reverie Esports Open number 49. We have the Chaos Vanguard facing off against Supernova. This is a best of 3 of our little weekly tournament. I am your caster once again, for those of you who are just joining us, Effect, with an FX at the end, but you can just call me Effect. Once we jump into the, hopefully this loading screen doesn't take too long, everybody's at 100%. See some of these keystones, nothing too unusual. Hyun with the Thunderlords on Jungle Gragas. Kinda strange, but I guess it works. And there we are. We are in the game. Make sure everybody is... Both teams are lined up without me having to adjust their portraits. Very nice. See a ping from Supernova onto Chaos Vanguard's jungle, but they're probably just wanting to ward there, I imagine. Yes, both teams are spreading out. Looks like it's just going to be a line of scrimmage. No level 1s here, unfortunately.
To Summoner's Rift.
Old Supernova with some picks I haven't seen in a while. More Grammy fans in the chat. He sure is popular, isn't he? Nothing too... the little spam in the mid lane. Moriatis politely bowing with the Vel'Koz.
Minions have spawned.
It's like, oh, you. I do look forward to seeing how well he performs on Vel'Koz. We don't see Vel'Koz too frequently. I don't think I've actually ever seen him while in a casted game here. So this will be very interesting. I'll also look forward to seeing how well Cavell does on someone who's not Aurelia, because I think this is my first game seeing Cavell in action, and he had an astonishingly good game on Aurelia, so good that it was banned, in fact. So this will be interesting to see if he can translate that over to Maokai as well. And of course, we also have Ash, who we also have never seen before. I can safely say right now I am a Supernova fan. Nothing too exciting currently going on, just the usual pokes, trades, and farming. Most of the action currently from this automated camera is in the bot lane, even though nothing has happened. Another zoning from Mur there, gets a little winter's bite onto Grimmy. Showing his love through Frostbite. You see that Yenny and Grimmy are going to play it safe. They're not interested in being stunned up by Mur there on the Braum. You see that both jugglers are working on their blue buff, though Jack Sparrow is clearing a little bit faster. And by a little bit, I mean he has actually several more CS currently than Hyun. Hyun is going to take that Scarab though, and then we might see a top lane gank possibly. See, Jack Sparrow is also taking a Scarab. He might be in position to go to mid lane. I look forward to seeing what happens here. You see Hyun is in the jungle. He is going to ward up and then do something. He's going to go back to river. He's gonna go to top lane. Man, it's slow right now. Just rambling. There is a mid lane gank though from Jack Sparrow onto TD here, but TD is gonna be able to get out pretty safely. And return some of the damage. Wow, Jack Sparrow just eats that. Wow. Woo! He just melted. Ooh, good dodge by Moriatis on Hyun. So both junglers kind of get outplayed there. That was very interesting. First Blood does go to Hyun, but he did not land the body slam when he went to dive the turret. He ate too many turret shots. A valiant attempt by TD to get a heal there, but I'm still kind of in shock that Jack Sparrow just evaporated. Like, he was full health, and then, well, they're down to 20% instantly. Very interesting. See that Solar Buster and Cavell are going at it, but Cavell has the minion advantage, so Solar Buster is going to have to back out. And TD is going to struggle a little bit with Moriatis having double buff currently, though he is still equal in CS for the time being. Though how long that remains is going to be interesting to see. Jack Sparrow is going to go ahead and take that Raptor from Hyun there. Looks like they're going to duke it out a little bit in that bottom mid though. Ooh, good body slam by Hyun. Makes Jack Sparrow eat a turret shot and forced to flash. Both Hyun and TD are going to go ahead and back, but Hyun is actually not backing. He is just chilling. I guess he was protecting TD. Not the worst decision. Do see that Jack Sparrow has a ward. Oh, good snare by Gremmy once again. Good manage to land both on Gangster ADC and Murr. Yenny's getting some good hits into Gangster here. But despite a harass from Yenny there, they are still equal in CS currently. This time, their opponents do not have a heal. Murr, of course, being off Rum. Good snare once again by Gremmy. Murr blocking that damage really nicely, though. Gremmy is being so annoying on that Zyra. What a pain. Gangster AC is definitely going to struggle a little bit. He is getting zoned out. Nice, very nicely by Gremmy. Good snare by Gremmy once again, but it gets mostly blocked. But they do force the block, of course. That's not too bad. Very exciting top lane. It's that Yenny and Remy are being pretty aggressive here. They do manage to land another snare on the Merv, but he does block most of it. He takes some damage, but that allows Gangster to walk up and get some of these creeps. He's only 2 CS behind, so it's definitely not the end here. Just harass from Gremmy is really irritating. I can only imagine the frustration of facing off against that right now. I remember read a Reddit thread today. Some people are just not finding laning against Zyra fun right now. See that Lucky Buster and Cavell once again going at it, but nothing permanent here. Oh, there's a engage by Cavell. He dives on in. There is a good Shurima shuffle by TD, very easily picking up Moriatis there, and Cavell does get picked up by Solo Q Bus Rider. That Trundle ult is very useful. So we didn't quite catch what happened in either one of those lanes, because basically we only got there right when it ended. We do see that Jack Sparrow going towards that top lane. It's just going to go ahead and clear out the ward. He probably knows he can't. At best, he could just drive Sulky Buster out of lane. Probably would not be able to kill him. TD is going to go ahead and clear out that pink ward and then probably back. Jack Sparrow is going to take that blue. He does not mind. Can use the mana. He's actually on that mana. There it is. Being a cheeky little kitty stealing camps and stuff. Cat thief. Interesting first choice on Cavell there. We usually don't see Catalyst on Maokai anymore. Very interesting to see if he builds that into Righteous Glory or if he goes to the Rod of Ages route. Technically he can use both of them, but usually we see Sunfire Cape and lots of armor stacking. that Moriarty is going to take that blue buff for himself. He could definitely use it, especially with the fact that TD currently does not have access to a blue buff. See that Cavell and Soul Strider are once again going at it. Soul Strider does have that Tiamat working towards that Titanic Hydra. Once he gets that, he is going to be dealing quite a bit of damage. We'll probably expect to see Soul Strider stacking lots of magic resist. It's a very magic damage heavy team that Superman currently has. Looks like Cavell and Soul Strider once again going at it. But Cavell currently at a disadvantage. He is kind of melting right now. So if he could land one more Q, he could have definitely gotten the kill there, but Cavell able to disengage, and he's going to go ahead and back. Wise decision, I would say, currently. Here's a gank by Hyun. There's a flash body slam into a barrel. There's the Shurima shuffle. Morias barely not getting away. There's the flash from TD. There's the slow from TD soldiers. Jack Sparrow in a little bit of trouble. There is the leap with TD gonna go ahead and chase. Hyun and TD are gonna. There is the body slam over the wall to pick up the kill. Poor Jack Sparrow, not quite able to move away. There is Murr and once again Gangster ADC taking a little damage there. We definitely see that CS difference in the bottom lane growing quite a bit. There's a TP coming in from Soul Q Bush Rider. There's a decent pillar, able to slow up Remy nicely. There's an ult though. Does pick up, stun up Gangster ADC a little bit. There's Cavell also TPing in. And that is going to be a 2 for nothing. TD able to barely get away. First it looked good from Solo Q Bus Rider, but it was a good counter teleport by Cavell. Currently, the Chaos Vanguard's bottom lane is the one that's struggling the most right now, so I can definitely see that they needed help, but that sort of backfired. Very unfortunate. See that Hyun wanting to go for the steal here. Can he get it? Nope, he's going to get locked up by Cavell. Well played. Completely stopping that dragon from being stolen. Very well played.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
With that, we do see some camps being stolen. Hyun not quite landing the body slam. Might be for the best though. Cavell throwing some saplings. Of course, while he's doing that, we do see that Select Western is in that top line, pushing the wave. But looks like Cavell's not interested in that at all. He is coming to the bottom lane. Are they gonna dive? They might dive here. We do see that Grimmy is approaching from behind. There is a little gank in the mid lane. Moriarty's picking up TD there. And there is Grimmy picking up poor Gangster ADC. You see that Murr tried to flash over the wall, but unfortunately it was a fail flash. Very well played by Supernova there. And with that, they're able to pretty decently take the lead here. They actually have a 3k gold lead already, despite the 1 kill difference. That is a difference from CS mostly, I would seem. Possibly from the gold generating items, I don't know. I'd have to actually hover over them to see. I'm kind of sleepy all of a sudden. I might need to go to Red Bull. Ugh. We do see that Supernova is going to go ahead and back here. They did get some decent damage done. Seeing lots of completed items and other items being purchased. Yes, I suspected as much. That was the only thing that makes sense. 1 tower difference, 2 different. I mean, it's only 3k gold lead. 2.5k gold lead, I guess. Well, I'm pretty close to 3k. 2.5 to 3k. not the end of the world. We definitely see that that Chaos Vanguard is putting up a good fight, as it were. But that bottom lane, Yenny and Gremmy are very scary currently. We see a 3-0 Ashe. On that note, though, Hyun and TD are having a pretty decent game. Little slips-ups here and there, but they are able to definitely capitalize on mistakes. TD deciding that he, after getting hit by a spear, he's just gonna dash over the wall. Yeah, I'm actually gonna grab a Red Bull, definitely. Oh, Soul Bush Hitter, oh no! He gets locked up. Oh, poor Trundle. Solo Q Bus Rider. That was a very, very poor error. That makes me sad, because I've done that before, and it's like, oh god, where did they come from? So, initially it looked like the Chaos Vanguard had control of the game, but the difference in CS is definitely playing out. See that, once again, that Yenny and Gremmy are just huge threats. Gangster ADC definitely needs to make a recovery. He has not completed his first item yet. So he is going to farm up. And we see a Rift Trail taken for once. Wow, that never happens. Actually, this might be the first Rift Trail we've seen on stream being taken. We've seen attempts before, but it always gets stopped, and then it gets ignored the rest of the game. Actually, I did not get to see a chance to see who picked it up. I wasn't paying attention to that, so astonished that it was actually taken for once. I'm assuming that the K barbecue is Korean barbecue. I'm actually kind of jealous. And things have definitely calmed down pretty accordingly. We see that lots of pings. Ooh, Gremmy. Good flash by Gremmy, completely avoiding the streamer shuffle. He would have been a very dead plant. We see that Supernova is going to work towards pushing in his bottom lane. There's a good flash barrel by Hyun. But unfortunately, there is a good Vel'Koz ultimate to return the favor. See the team of the Chaos Vanguard getting melted. Soul Crusher, very tanky, but does get caught out by some CC. Gangster ADC trying to show up and save the day, but the rocket was not quite enough to finish the job on Cavell there. As a 3-for-1, almost 2, but almost does not count. See that Moriatis and Jack Sparrow are going to very easily be able to take this turret before that last minion dies. Ooh, gets a good little combo. Not doing too much damage to that yet. But that ult was pretty good, to say the least. And with that, we see a dragon. That is going to be the second dragon of the game. It looks like it's going to go pretty convincing. Oh, there's a teleport coming from Cubus Rider. They want to deny this. He gets snared up. There's TD coming from the side. He does a lot of damage. Jack Sparrow forcing the flash away. Gremmy is very likely going down. There it is. Moriatis in a little trouble. He's slowed up by TD there. They do not have Cavell. Cavell does not have a TP to come to this dragon, so it looks like the Chaos Vanguard are going to pick up their first dragon. They'll take what they can get. They see a ping going onto that bottom lane. They want to go and pick up that bottom lane turret, get some more gold. They definitely need it right now. We see that there is currently a four turret difference in the amount of turrets that have been killed. And if things go according to plan, it should be 3. And we do see Cavell is still in the top area. He's probably waiting for that blue buff, I imagine, though, instead of looking for the turret. There is a streamer shuffle from TD. Yenny popped his flash, but it just wasn't quite enough. Not sure I would have flashed there personally. Little minor error. That's easily forgiven considering how well he's been doing overall. Well, actually, the Gangster ADC has caught up in CS, though. But we do see that there's still a pretty large difference in kills and assists. So Buster getting pinged on might be in a little trouble. He does dodge the snare, but he is getting slowed currently. He is definitely in trouble. He uses his ult to heal. Oh my, yawning a little bit, sorry. It's not because of the game, it's just I didn't sleep too well today, unfortunately. Woke up a little earlier than I intended. I will drink a Red Bull when we have a good lull. So Yenny is going to go ahead and... Am I pronouncing that right? Yenny or... Rhine. That's backwards. There is Mur getting caught out a little bit. He gets snared up. There is the stun, but he is able to jump out thanks to Solo Cuba Shredder being just close enough. Very scary situation, but we do see that Braum tankiness coming in. Supernova has very, very strong vision control, but they are going to go ahead and continue to push and poke down this mid lane while Cavell split pushes. We see that Soul Cursor is going to go ahead and back. He wants to buy. Mur does have that rune in his Hurricane now. Or not Mur, sorry. Gangster ADC does have that rune in his Hurricane now. Yenyar. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. I can see that. God, if only like you could hover over somebody's name and it had phonetics that you could see, know how to pronounce it exactly. That'd be amazing. That should be a good feature. That's something Riot should add. Be awesome. Hyun wanted that Gromp, but he gets snared up. The stun does not land, but Murd might be in trouble with it. He does get a decent ult to slow them up, but there is an ult from Moriatis to pick up the kill. And with that, they're going to go ahead and start that Baron. Yenyar and Jack Sparrow working on it now. That might be pretty... There's almost no way they can take that. Well, if wishes were fishes. I actually don't know how the rest of that analogy would go, but... I'm certain somebody else knows. I just haven't thought about it in years. But that is going to be Baron going over to Supernova. Currently they are... The gold lead's actually still not too terrible, but this is not good. Gangster ADC getting flashed on by Cavell. Instantly going down. Poor Gangster ADC. And I feel bad. I feel his pain. I don't even play ADC. This is definitely not a good situation for the Chaos Vanguard. They need every member they can get. And with the gold deficit they currently have, it's definitely a rough game. It's not over yet, though. Even if they lose this one, they still have another chance to take this to a game 3, of course. See, a TD is doing some decent damage, getting the soldiers in to harass. But that Baron buff is doing work. I do believe there is a prize pool, yes. You can find it on our website, I'd say. Or it might be the Battlefly main page where our e-sign up is at, I believe. I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about it. Well, it looks like the Chaos Vanguard was able to hold out there. They were able to pick up 2 kills, actually, as it turns out. Things are coming down. We see Mur wandering around looking for wards to kill. While things are actually calming down, I'm actually going to walk over to my fridge and grab a Red Bull. Help me stay away. Don't mind the noise. There we go. That should definitely be helpful. So that Gangster DC gonna take that red buff. Needs all the help he can get. dragon is going to be up in 15 seconds. Gangster is actually backing. Very interesting. He must have just enough for that Infinity Edge. Yep, there it is. That is going to be a decent boost in damage for him. Hyun is getting melted a little bit. He does not have much health right now. He does have that Abyssal Scepter for the magic resist, but doesn't have any armor and working towards Spirit Visage, I think. I imagine. But that is going to be the second dragon for Supernova being picked up. And they're going to slowly wander to that bottom lane where Moriatis is at. Out that pink ward, but we see a strong push coming into that bottom side where two members of the Chaos Vanguard are not there. Supernova takes that turret super easy. You see the rest of the team slowly wandering over to assist. This could be bad for the Chaos Vanguard. Moriatis almost gets caught out, but oh, there's a good Gremmy ult. Gets a 3-man knockup. Solar Buster diving in, and he wants to kill Jack Sparrow here, but he is not quite enough. And he gets collapsed on and dies very easy. And a nice little combo from Gremmy, Moriatis, and the rest. And with that, that is going to be the bottom inhibitor going down. They 2 for nothing. Cavell is just so tanky. TD does nothing to him. We saw pings going down onto that middle inhibitor, but Supernova are going to go ahead and play it safe. They're just going to back out, probably buy, and then rinse and repeat. A smart thing to do. Very interesting from Soul Buster. Actually purchasing armor here, and not some magic resist, because this is an extremely magic damage heavy team. The only physical damage is currently Yenyar on that Ashe. I'm so glad that somebody told me how to pronounce that. Significantly less awkward. I was just calling him Yenny. Of course, it's not like that randomness won't help. It'll definitely be useful, and as far as armor goes, it might not be the worst choice. It does give him some health and a slow. Things have definitely calmed down quite a bit, though. Looks like Supernova is slowly going to get grouped up and starts doing a mid lane push. Yenyar going to, I almost said Yenny again. Yenyar picking up that red buff. More slows for somebody who already slows AN somehow. There's an Ashe arrow coming down the middle, though. And it whiffs. A valiant effort, I guess, for a cheese kill. Yeah, Jack Sparrow is actually not taking much damage. He has that Rylai's for the extra health. TD having that Azir turret set up is going to slow them down a little bit, but it gets destroyed pretty quickly. Oh, Mur taking a lot of damage. There's a Shroom Shuffle by TD, but unfortunately, not much comes of it. He gets picked up really quickly. Mur is the next victim going down to Yenyar. Solar Buster getting slowly zoned out by Cavell. With some assistance from Remy, that middle is still up. They're actually going for the kills here. Yenyar picking up another kill. And Xian getting a decent combo, but everybody else is already dead. And that is a ace, 5 for nothing. And with that, it looks like Supernova, there is the surrender. The GGs are coming out. First game going to Supernova. Very nicely done. We see some pretty good plays there by, especially I think we can safely say that Gremmy did amazing. Some of those ults were awesome. Also seeing that Moriatis on the Vel'Koz did quite well. So it's so nice to see champions that are never get played. We see Zyra, Vel'Koz, and Ashe. I don't think I've ever seen any of them. I think I mentioned that earlier in this tournament. course, we'd only play, once a week. Well, I should say I only cast once a week, I should say. They do have the Friday tournament, which I am not part of. And rejoin the lobby. Hopefully we can jump pretty quickly into the second game. Some people might need breaks, though. I don't, currently. This is a good opportunity to change the tags. The Chaos Vanguard. Very convincing by Supernova. Chaos Vanguard had a strong opener. They were able to keep up pretty easily in most areas, but we did see that I can just call you Yen. Okay, Yen. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. One syllable's a lot easier than two syllables. Who knew? Take this opportunity to stretch. I've been sitting down for a while now. Oh, it's also kind of toasty right now. I should probably turn the air conditioner on. Oh, it's nice to stretch. Much better. While we wait, I'll go ahead and turn some music. I'll just kind of ramble. That should be fine. Looks like we'll be taking a small break. Not everybody is in the lobby just yet. Whew. I'm awake now, though. I'm not particularly fond of the taste of Red Bull, but at least it does the job. Let's see what's even in this. Taurine. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Taurine? Let's find out. Google, save me. Pronounced. But we do see some more folks wandering into the lobby. Taurine? I'm not sure if I believe that phonetic right there. Taurin. Ooh, wow movie. I actually have not had the opportunity to go to the movies yet. I'd like to at some point, though. Just not one to try and go by myself. I do have some family there. Maybe I'll ask to see if they want to go see it. Excuse me. Nope, lots of folks jumping around. What other movies are coming out this year? There's a lot of movies. I have not had a chance to see the new X-Men movie. Of course, there's the WoW movie. What else is coming out? The new Alien movie isn't until next year. I look forward to that. Hopefully it's good. Oh, everyone's in the lobby now, so hopefully we can get started pretty quickly. I'll go and let them know I am ready. When you guys are. I have seen the new Captain America. I did like it. It was pretty good. I've heard some people didn't like it, but whatever. I enjoyed it. Let's have a quick look. God, the internet's so amazing. You can see what other movies are coming out. What movies are coming out in 2016? Hopefully there's no ads or anything. Independence Day. Oh yeah. That looks pretty interesting. And The Legend of Tarzan. I've only seen a couple of trailers for it, but that looks pretty interesting. see, there's some other titles here, but I don't recognize any of them just yet. Independence Day is June 24th. I've watched a bunch of trailers recently, but I don't know. There's a new Jason Bourne, but I haven't watched a Jason Bourne movie since like the second one, so I'm actually really, really far behind on that. There's new Star Trek. Suicide Squad. I've only seen trailers, obviously. That looks kind of funny. And there we go. We are actually in Champions Select, so let's go ahead and stop talking about that and talk about this. This is the second round of our final match, for those of you just joining us. I don't think anyone new has joined us, though. Sad face. We have Supernova on the blue side this time, with the Chaos Vanguard on the red side. Once again, bands coming out. We see Trundle banned from Solo Queue Bus Rider, and Aurelia, once again, being Nikvel is not going to be allowed to play that. Excuse me, something's in my throat. See that LeBlanc is also being banned. And we see that Cavell is not going to be allowed to play Maokai either. So that's technically three top lane bans, but two top lane bans from the side of the Chaos Vanguard. They may ban. I would not be surprised to see a Zyra ban here, because Grammy's had two very excellent games in a row on that Zyra. But remains to be seen. We have a few seconds left on this last ban from Supernova, and it's targeted at Swain. So no Swain. And yeah, there is the Zyra ban. Poor Grammy, having such a good performance that he's not allowed to play that champion. Though I imagine, based on that performance, he has other picks. And we are going to get to see Cavell possibly on Vladimir, though now he is hovering Corki instead. Nope, he is going to go ahead and lock in that Vladimir, which will be the first Vladimir we've seen in our Reverie Esports Open. And of course, it'll definitely be the first time since we've seen his little rework and buffs. I definitely look forward to that, because when I played a lot, I enjoyed playing Vladimir. So I definitely look forward to seeing that in action. Hyun locking in the Nunu pretty quickly there. Very interesting. And Solo Queue Bus Rider hovering on Volibear. Very interesting choice. He's not locked it in yet. He can't make up his mind just yet. He's got a few seconds. Is he going to take the bear into the Blood Mage? I almost said vampire, but that's definitely not right, is it? There you go, locks it in. He's going to take the bear probably top lane, unless the Chaos Vanguard does like something really cheesy and actually they flip-flop and send Nunu top lane. Nunu top lane doesn't win very often, but God, is it annoying to fight against. See Moriarty's hovering Karthus. I'm going to love him if he plays Karthus. I don't know how well he will do, but Karthus actually had a pretty high win rate, and I don't know if it's 6.10 or if he still has one in 6.11. He's doing pretty well. Very interesting. Actually kind of curious now. Recent statistics. Let's go to Champion GG, I guess. See what their stats are. Win rates. Karthus is 54% in mid lane at Platinum Plus. That's not bad. But they do not. Unfortunately, he decides to disappoint me. We see Jack Sparrow locking in the Ashe and Moriarty's picking up the Bard. We see TD actually grabbing Ahri. Very interesting. And Gangster ADC hovering on that Caitlyn. Instead, he might go for Jinx. Kog'Maw, Jinx, Caitlyn. Kog'Maw, Jinx, Caitlyn, Twitch. He's playing with my emotions here. And he's now hovering on the rat, who can be a massive pain if he gets going. Nothing quite as fun as having to fight against a fed Twitch. Just mind your own business, wander through the jungle, and bam, you get evaporated by a fed cloaking Twitch. And it looks like he's going to play it. Very interesting. If he can't get going, it might be a rough game for him, quite possibly. Ashe has the ability to engage pretty decently, and Bard, of course, has those stuns and some decent harass himself. Of course, they don't have Royal Zyra now, so maybe they're not too concerned. In my humble opinion, though, not being concerned is dangerous. And out of Red Bull. Hopefully I don't need another, because that's bad for me. Now, like, one's bad for me, to be fair, I guess. We do see Supernova taking their times on this last pick. So they need a middle laner, I suppose. Though maybe they're sending Vladimir middle. I'm not sure. They also do pick up Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath. I haven't seen a Cho'Gath in forever. And you see Jack Sparrow did pick up the Kindred. So that's actually 3 different junglers from him. Lee Sin, Nidalee, and now Kindred. Very interesting. Very nice to see some variation. And Myrrh picks up the Janna. So I'm going to look to protect and harass with the shields and the knockbacks, knockups. Cho'Gath. Now I'm looking forward to this, because I haven't seen a Cho'Gath. I've never seen a Cho'Gath in this stream, basically. Another champion I enjoy playing when I do play. I mean, it's simple. You don't need to be super amazing. Can you land Q? That's about it. And with that, everybody is locked in. We are in our 3-minute delay. In the top lane, we have Cavell on Vladimir, facing off against Solo Q Bus Riders Volibear. In the jungle, we have Jack Sparrow on the Kindred and Hyun on the Nunu. In, of course, the mid lane, we have Moriatis LFT on Cho'Gath, facing off against TD's Ahri. And then in the bottom lane, last but most certainly not least, we have Yen Yar, we're just going to call him Yen, as per his little notification in the chat, on Ashe, once again. Partnering up with Gremmy on Bard, since he cannot play Zyra this time. And they are facing off against Gangster ADC's Twitch, and he is partnering up with Myrrh on the Janna. It's nice to see the picks being shaken up a little bit. We don't see much Volibear. Actually, no, I take that back. We actually... So it must have been a month now. One of the teams that showed up frequently had a Volibear main. Who's a... God, he was really high ranked on... In terms of, like, lolskill.net, he had really good stats on Volibear. What was his name? It was something really obvious that made you think, yeah, that's a Volibear main. Armor Bear's Rule, that's it. He did pretty well on Volibear. Of course, whatever he did play, typically it was banned. Very unfortunate. And now that my rambling is kind of done, we're going to go ahead and take a very, very tiny commercial break while we wait for this last minute. We'll be back shortly. And we're back. There's the loading screen. Oh, Cavell, I'm sad you don't have that Lord Vladimir. It's kind of getting old, isn't it, though? Maybe one day we'll see a possible visual update on him. Once again, for those of you who are either just joining us or forgetting, this is the final round. Possibly, I should say, if the Chaos Vanguard can pick this game up, it could take it to a game 3. But if Supernova wins, it will of course be the end for them. This is Reverie Esports Open number 49. Supernova on blue side, Chaos Vanguard on the red side, with the Chaos Vanguard currently at a 1 loss as it stands out. And we see that everyone is, except Moriatis, he's taking his time. Probably munching on something. Not that I don't blame him, I'm actually getting kind of hungry. Oh, there's supports, they see each other. Remy did not get the attack though. Get a word down. Hyun and Jack Sparrow making friends. Oh, the overlay, I forgot. I'm sorry. Got it. We're good. Nothing happened. Nobody saw anything. Wonder if I could get a way to change that automatically. That'd be amazing. Oh, Moriatis getting poked a little bit by TD. TD being a little rude. He probably... No, he does not have time to back. It is Cho'Gath though, so as long as he can get some CS, he'll be able to heal up. And you see the Kindermark onto Ari. Very interesting. TTD is going to do a little work to zone Moriatis. Now he's actually got the advantage in terms of damage, but Cho'Gath is going to start healing up pretty easily. Just a prank, bro. It's just a prank. Very interesting choice to take the Scream first, but it's not a bad choice, I'd say, I guess. He probably knows what he's doing better than I do, I guess, to be fair. Good stun by Gremmy. Didn't do much damage yet, but of course, he is just getting started. See that both the bottom lanes have now acquired that level 2. But Gremmy and Yen are doing a really good job of zoning here. And Cavell is going to do Vladimir things and be annoying. Who knew? Though it looks like Solakibusher for the time being is doing just fine. He has that potion and just keeping up in CS just fine. TD just doing what he can to harass poor Moriatis there. This is actually extremely slow compared to some of the last games. No one has died yet. Alrighty, you see that Cavell is doing what he can to harass Solakibusher. He's actually gotten some okay damage in now. Stand there and take attacks long enough, he will take damage. Who knew? That Yen and Gremmy are doing a pretty decent job in that bot lane. Currently, Yen does have a small CS lead, though how long that stays remains to be seen. He is harassing with the volleys. Gremmy trying to get stuns and whatnot. But Gangster ADC is currently not deterred. He does get stunned here, but not much is coming out. There's a gank in the mid lane by Hyun. Good flash by Hyun to avoid that knockup. Moriatis is in big trouble. He is not going to be able to get away. decides to save his flash instead of burn it and die anyways. Wise decision. Here comes Jack Sparrow swinging in to save the day. Cavell's actually taking a lot of damage here, but Solo Q Bus Rider also taking some damage, though his passive just popped, so he should heal a little bit. Actually, no, his passive didn't pop. His passive would have a lot more than that, wouldn't he? I believe it was just a potion. It may have been... Ooh, there's a... Both flashes burned in that top lane. Cavell doing a good job to zone and harass Solo Q Bus Rider. Oh, here comes Solo Q Bus Rider's in big trouble. There's a good flash knockup by Moriatis. And there's a little stack for Jack Sparrow on that Kindred. With that, I do believe Cavell is going to have control of that top lane. He has a big CS lead. And he actually, did he get the assist from that? He did. Wow. That is incredible. Big CS lead, and he got the assist from that little kill at the tier 2 turret. I definitely would call that a win. Murr gets stunned up. It actually takes a lot of damage. There's the ignite from Gremmy. Flash pop by Murr, but it's not enough. He dies pretty easily there. Very unfortunate. But during that little scuffle, Hyun does pick up the... Hyun does pick up that dragon. I'm happy you are here. Break Faces. That's a mean name. Do you actually break faces? That's just rude. Yeah, Gremmy's Bard game is definitely real strong there. Little corner from the side. It does land a good little stun there. Murr slowly wandering his way back to that bottom lane. Yen and Gremmy going to zone out. Gangster ADC. That Moriatis, now that he has his ult, is going to start getting nice and durable. TD doing what he can to zone. Sorry, not to zone, but to poke, but he ends up getting knocked up and silenced for a huge chunk of damage. Cavell going straight for that CDR. He has that Kindle Gem and that CDR boots. We do see Hyun wandering towards that top lane. I don't think Cavell's quite strong enough to 2v1. He could be in big trouble here. He's gonna pull. Doesn't avoid the slow, unfortunately, but he does get a full duration Eve off, but unfortunately, he's not quite strong enough to 2v1 quite yet. He does end up going down. Very nice gank by Hyun to help assist Solo Q Bus Rider, who's definitely, for the time being, struggling a little bit. We're going to go ahead and donate that blue buff to Moriatis in that mid lane on the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath mid lane. That's a pick I haven't seen in so long. I'm still in love with Moriatis right now. It's like Hyun wants that ward, but Jack Sparrow is not going to let him. They are pinging it. They do know it is still there for the time being. TD dodging that little knockup. Probably wasn't even really meant for him, to be fair, but you see some pings going on. Supernova possibly wants that blue. Moriatis ambushing TD a little bit. If that knockup had landed, that could have been a very dead Fox. TD does need to be really careful here. There's the knockup in the silence. Can he get the ult off? He does. Poor TD gets devoured alive. Very good strike by that Moriatis on the Cho'Gath. Both of us are actually doing quite a bit of damage to Cavell there. But here comes Hyun once again to save the day. Cavell does flash. He does flash away. Okay. I was afraid he was going to die again, unfortunately, but he wisely decides to flash before he can go down. Very wise decision. He does ward up. He does see Hyun backing, so he instead of backing, he's going to go back to the lane. In the bot lane, we do see Yen and Gremmy are doing a good job to keep this lane pushed up. Here comes a possible dive. Here comes Jack Sparrow from behind. There's the Yen ult. Stuns up Mur. Mur uses Monsoon, but it's not quite enough. In the top lane, we saw that Sully Pressure has engaged on Cavell, but not much damage is going on. We see Gremmy did get charmed there, but TD is not going to follow up on anything. He's going to go ahead and just back off. Not the worst decision. See that Moriatis is going to slowly wander back to that. You guys and your jokes in the chat. Oh, Moriatis, a good little dodge by him to not get hit by that. Oh, he does get charmed up, but he lands the knock-up and the silence. God, that does so much damage. Very strong showing by Moriatis on a variety of champions. He's not quite as dominating, but he's going to get pretty difficult to kill. There's Jack Sparrow surprising Hyun a little bit, but Hyun's just going to do new things and wander away. He is taking a lot of damage, though. TD is definitely not having the best time around. He's actually very low on mana as it currently is. See Solar Ghost getting harassed by Cavell a little bit. Here comes Gremmy onto Gangster ADC. Doesn't land the stun, but he is able to save that pink ward. Gotta protect those pink wards. We see mobility boost on him. That is something that is very rare. I believe that is new Kindred skin. Mur gets stunned up by Yen. Oh, there's the good Bartle to lock up Gangster ADC. Mur still getting focused. He's going to go down. Gangster ADC's heal was not enough. Ooh. He almost goes down himself. Here comes TD, though. There's the heal on by Yen. Not quite enough, though. He is going to end up going down to Gangster ADC's. Ooh, Gremmy barely avoiding the charm. While that's happening, though, Moriatis is in that mid lane, clearing those waves out. He is no concern about Hyun doing anything lethal to him. He just turns off the E and hits the turret. Solar QS Rider and Cavell once again going at it. There's the Volibear passive popped. Cavell doing what he can to heal up. And of course, since he is Vladimir, that is definitely not a problem. Ooh. Murad is doing a lot of damage. Ooh, Cavell could be in trouble here. He does take a turret shot. Pool was still on cooldown. Very unfortunate. So he does have that Hextech revolver now. And has a new item which I do not remember the name of, so I'm actually going to hover it over a second to see what it does. Prototype belt. Neat. So Hyun is taking that dragon. Very low, but that is going to be the second dragon of the game going to the Chaos Vanguard. They're having a much better game currently. Yeah, they're basically pretty even everywhere. TD's struggling a little in the mid lane, but it's very minor. As long as he doesn't get eaten, he's fine. And try to snowball the Scarab, but unfortunately not quite enough. He had to go back and auto attack it again. See, Hyun is going to work on that pink ward. And he's going to be able to get it very easily. And Cavell is going to start doing Vladimir things and start harassing again. But Sullic Busher does have that Spirit Resist now, so he is going to heal for more with his passive, and of course he does take less damage overall, because, you know, Magic Resist. Makes sense. TD is going to take out that pink ward in mid lane. Things are really slow right now that I'm talking about that. We do see that the red buff on Supernova's side is up now. And of course they did take the red side red. Red side red. Yana is getting some harassing. Oop. HRC turned invisible, but he doesn't do it. Kill minions! You see Jack Sparrow. Oh! Solar Crusher engaging on the Cavell again. There's the pool. But Cavell is going to be able to back out. He's probably going to heal up, I imagine. Though, still very dangerous to him. His pool does have a fairly long cooldown. It's almost up now. So we are able to get in a pretty significant amount of damage there. Hyun is nearby. They do know he's there, though, thanks to that little pink ward in the bush, but it is going to go down to Hyun naturally. See, Jack Sparrow might be in some trouble here. He does get knocked up a little bit, but they are not going to continue to chase. They're not interested. But it looks like because of their backing off there, they are going to lose that bottom turret, and that'll be the second turret. No, I lied. It's the first turret of the game going down. It's 2 dragons have gone down already. And looks like... Ooh, Chaos Vanguard trying to get to... Wow! I should say they are going to get the Rift Herald. Cavell tried to stop them, but he was eaten by Volibear. A valiant attempt to stop it, but unfortunately he needlessly died, and that is going to be the Rift Herald buff going to Solo Q Bus Rider on that Volibear. Going to have a lot easier time once he gets those tier 2 boots to keep up with Vlad, or, you know, after Queen. But he is going to get some help. Of course, that's not the worst option, naturally. More health is good. Oof. Next, we're clearing out some wards. Grimmy harassing Hyun a little bit there. Gonna take a little magical journey out of the... I'm going to take that scare. Myrrh in the top lane. It actually lane swapped here. Myrrh and Gangster DC have gone to top lane, with Solar Q Buster moving on to the bottom lane. Bell going to go and take out that pink ward. Whew. Ooh, there's Moriatis looking for a little fun times in the mid lane. He's actually very durable now. He does have that row completed. He does land. TD almost gets away, but not quite enough. He does get eaten by Cho'Gath. Very unfortunate. Hyun is not concerned though. He's just gonna continue to take out minions. But it looks like Supernova is all rotating to that top lane to push down this tier 2 turret. And there are no ways to stop them currently. They're going to be able to get this very easily. It's currently 4v5. Technically 3v5 because Solar Buster is in that bot lane trying to kill that turret. Trying to get them their first turret of the game with the Chaos Vanguard. Nope. Skype message out of nowhere. Let me go ahead and put that on the way. Do not disturb, so you guys don't have to hear that. Alrighty. Now that that's muted, we are back. We see Dragon's going to, in just a few seconds, Baron is going to be up in a minute. This game is pretty even so far, but Supernova does have a 4K gold lead thanks to CS and turrets. They're going to be able to take their first Dragon of the game here. And one of the nicer ones, get some extra damage. They're going to look to get some vision control in this jungle, kill out that pink ward, and grab this blue buff. give it away to Moriatis. He has that Abyssal Scepter finish now, so he does have the CDR and the Magic Resist reduction. There's a little stun by Ash. Yenny able to Hyun try to zone with his Ult, but it does get silenced immediately by Moriatis. Soul Buster diving right on in. Cavel's really close to dead. He does manage to flash out and heal straight to his ultimate. And it looks like for that little engagement there, the only victim was Hyun, but so many other people almost died there. That was a very fun engagement. Moriatis getting chased by Solo Q Bus Rider. Good attempt by Yen to try and pick Ari there with his ult, but ooh, Cavel getting engaged on hard here. Could be in big trouble thanks to TD. Ooh, he's so close. But he is going to play it smart and just immediately run away. But here comes Gangster ADC. He is going to chase. Now Pete changes his mind. He's too late. Good attempt by TD to pick up a free kill there, but barely not enough. We should get and Grammy heading towards that top lane, try and save the turret. We also see that Jack Sparrow and Moriatis are really close by, so it should not be a problem for them to push back that wave. Not a problem. See that Baron is up. Could get interesting. See that Chaos Vanguard slowly working towards pushing up that mid lane. We see that Silky Bastard is chasing down Yen, but Yen is able to get away. Not interested in being bear food. I cannot blame him. That TD does get stunned up there. He's not able to get away though. Very good arrow by Yen there. And they're also able to pick up Myrrh somehow. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking to make sure that Yen did use ult to pick TD there. Poor Myrrh. That is definitely not good for them. That is going to be... Here's a little good magical journey to pick up Hyun. Hyun getting immediately CC locked. Cavel tanking that turret, able to break aggro with the pool. So that is 3 members of Supernova going down back to back, and that gives us full control over... Sorry, no, 3 members of the Chaos Vanguard going down back to back, and that gives full control over the Supernova. I got that mixed up there. I'm sorry. But that is going to be the first inhibitor of the game going down. Ooh, Cavel gets a little ult, but he's flipped. Ooh, Gangster ADC being chased down by Moriatis. TD forced to flash. Moriatis does pick up Myrrh, and Soul Buster trying to get away. He does manage to barely get away. Here comes Hyun, since he has respawned. But looks like Supernova is going to go ahead and play it safe. They're going to try and back out of here. Ooh, they're trying to dive onto Cavel. TD barely getting away. There was the flash from Moriatis to try and silence and get the kill. Hyun does go down to Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow does go down in return to Gangster ADC. Soul Booster trying to pick up the kill. He does manage to bite Grammy. Grammy does go down. Here comes Gangster ADC. Pops the Ghost Blade. They avoid Moriatis' knockup. Cavel in big trouble. He does pop Pool, but he is still not in a good position. He is going to go down to Gangster ADC. Looks like Soul Strider is going to try and chase down Moriatis here. There's the charge. Unfortunately, Moriatis tries to bite and kill off Soul Strider, but unfortunately, he has quite a bit of health, so the true damage not quite as effective. So, definitely useful. There's an arrow out of nowhere. If that had hit the Gangster ADC, maybe that would have been different, but it only hits Soul Strider and doesn't do enough to kill. So that's good for Chaos Vanguard. They did manage to pick up some kills there, but they're still in a really bad position here. That bottom inhibitor is down with those supers pushing, and that is going to open up Baron very easily. Should Supernova try to go for it, they can easily try to stall it out and make them choose between Nexus turrets and Baron. Silky does have that teleport, so as long as he's in there, he could possibly delay that lane. He does not have amazing wave clear as Volibear, though. If he had a Sunfire cape, it'd be easier, but he has gone the Randomins route, trying to get an extra slow. Make it a little harder for him to kite him, so it's not the worst decision. Shiana is going to be able to pick up that. They're actually going to engage on Cavell here, but Cavell is actually pretty tanky. He's got a lot of health. And of course, you know, he's Vladimir, so he's going to heal a ton, literally. But you see the dragon is live and it is being taken by Jack Sparrow, and it's going to be their second dragon. More 88 AP. That could be very useful. Who knew? Chaos Figure has to be really careful here. Solar Buster is by himself in that bottom lane, trying to keep those super minions back. Looks like Kion and Mer are going to try and keep control of Vision. Here comes Grammy though. Skank Tracy going to go ahead and pick up that red buff for himself. He's actually very scary on Twitch now. He's got the Runins, he's got the Ghost Blade, so he's doing a lot of damage. So as long as he remains unhindered, he could possibly carry here. But we see that Cavell and Borealis are being very durable now. They are on two naturally durable characters. We got Vladimir and Cho'Gath. It looks like Superman is going to go ahead and start Baron. It's going to be super hard for Chaos Vanguard to try and steal it. At best, they can just delay. Here comes Solar Splitter. He's flashing in. Jack Sparrow gets caught out by TD, almost going down. Uses his ult. Jack Sparrow is going to go down. Solar Splitter almost dead. Gangster ADC trying to kite it out. He's super low. He does get healed by Monsoon. And that is going to be Cavell going down to Gangster ADC. That is a 4-for-1. And Supernova goes down as a full ace. Only Solar Buster died, and they managed to secure Baron. This could be what they need just to turn the tables here. They're going to be able to push down at least 3 turrets, probably. Since Gangster ADC is still alive to push down turrets. Maybe 2 turrets. 3, so these are a little greedy. Using that to Twitch ADC boost. You're going to use that Ghost Blade to take down this turret. Mer's going to tank it up. A very solid engage by Solar Buster to dive on in and disrupt, basically. And as I was saying, it was going to be super hard to take that Baron because they have Nunu and Cho'Gath who can basically, combined with Smite, they can basically deal 3,000 damage to Baron instantly, but they never really got a chance to do that. And now we have Gangster ADC on Twitch with 7-0. He is super scary. He has that Infinity Edge now. We thought he was scary before, and now he's going to be even scarier. It is definitely not over. The goal is actually just evening up now. Very, very slightly to the Chaos Vanguard. But it is definitely too early to say that the game is over. TD does get silenced, stunned, and locked up. Hyun is going to zone. Jack Sparrow gets locked up by Charm and does end up going down. Grimmy is in big trouble here. So looking for her to flash over the wall. Actually, no, he didn't flash. He just walked over. But he does end up going down. Cavell trying to harass. He's trying to get into that backline, but he's not quite able to kill everybody off. Everybody is super low, though. Well, that is going to be a 3 for nothing. Poor Jack Sparrow never had a chance to use his ult. He did get charmed up immediately by TD, and the fully charged Nunu ultimate blew him up. And of course, that's on top of Ari's already high burst damage, because he does have that Luke's Echo and a Void Staff. I think it's safe to say that Jack Sparrow could use some more help, possibly. Would not be surprised to see him pick up some more defensive items. TD is going to go in. Wow, he does a lot. He did. Whoa, poor Yen just gets evaporated. That is, that's scary. Yen is definitely not having the easiest time currently on Ashe. Without a doubt, he could definitely use some magic resist. Didn't even get charmed, and he's still kind of melted. Yeah, TD actually has quite a bit of AP. He's got 3 completed items, working on another big one with the needlessly large rod. They're going to try and engage on a Cavell here, but he's going to walk away. Chaos Vanguard have control of the game now, and they could definitely, they're in position to take this to a game 3, but they are currently taking their time. Gonna go and try and get game straight to see this red buff. Oh, Jack Sparrow, there's Hyun using his ultimate to try and slow up people, but Grammy does land a little ult. And TD comes to the side and immediately kills Yen. Jack Sparrow is in a really bad spot. He uses ult, but it's not enough. He immediately goes down. Gremmy's in big trouble. Hyun is super taking and taking the turret. Grammy does go down. Moriatis is slowly going to back away. We have Cavell also trying to defend. Moriatis does use his ult on Hyun, but Hyun is super tanky. He has a lot of health. Moriatis slowly just going to try and disengage, using his Q to knock people up. Cavell does get flipped by Solar Bush Rider, uses the pool, but I don't think he can get out of here. Gangster C actually did a lot of damage. Here comes Moriatis from the side, but he gets exhausted, so the Scream does not kill Gangster C, and that is going to be another ace. Going over to the Chaos Vanguard. And they are going to go ahead and they are fairly low, so they're not going to go and take that middle turret. They're going to go get a third dragon. Baron is going to be live in a minute and a half. And looks like Supernova wanted to try and get vision, but it is too late. Chaos Vanguard very easily melting that dragon. Twitch slowly working towards that last whisper. As I say, as he finishes it. It is not good. Yen, unfortunately, has only 2 completed items, whereas Gangster C has 4 completed items. That is an enormous difference in DPS. He is terrifying right now. 906 on the Twitch.
Sneaky, sneaky. Oh, hello.
Things are slowing down once again. See that Chaos Vanguard trying to take control of vision. They know Baron's going to be up in less than a minute. Set Moriatis is in that bottom lane trying to push the waves out. He does have TP up, so he can join the fight at a moment's notice. Looks like Jack Sparrow is going to be able to... There's a little engage by TD. Charm lands on Cavell. Here comes the flash and Soulful Bush Rider. He's trying to get to Yen. There's the random and slow, but Yen is going to barely get away. Remy forced a flash, but it's not enough. TD picks up Cavell as well. We do see that poor Yen is forced to flash away from Hyun.
It's me.
Supernova definitely not having the easiest time right now. Looks like the Chaos Vanguard is going to slowly work towards this Tier 2 turret. They're going to be able to take it very easily. Not much Jack Sparrow or Yen can currently do. We see some pings going on to Baron there. Chaos Vanguard is actually starting it now. They do have the new There's some pings going on. They do know where Moriatis is at. Moriatis could flash over the wall and possibly steal this, but he is going to go ahead and back off. That is going to let Hyun secure it very easily. Here comes Cavell. He's just trying to walk right on, and TD does get locked up by Yen for half a second, but Yen does get away. Here comes Moriatis from the side. Poor Cavell just gets melted by Gangster ADC. Jack Sparrow does pick up Murd though. TD is super low. Gangster DC is invisible currently. Not many places he can go currently. They do know where he's at. They know where he's going. There is the challenging smite. Gangster DC does go down, and Moriarty does get eaten. And that is another, basically, Baron going badly. Wasn't an ace. It was a 1 for 3. That is, I guess, the Supernova can take what they can get, though. They did not secure Baron, though. So currently, Chaos Vanguard still does have the advantage. But they probably can at least get this turret. Moriarty's just going to go ahead and tank it up. He is super tanky right now. You see that Soul Cubester and Hyun are going to try and stop this turret from being pushed in, but there's the knockup from Moriarty. There's a stun from Yen, but Hyun is super tanky right now. Soul Cubester is diving right on in, but he is going to get melted. Jack Sparrow is doing a lot of damage. He does have that Blood Razor. And it's going to be Hyun and Soul Cubester going down. That could be a fatal mistake here. And Gangster ADC and TD are still pretty scary, though. They have a lot of damage. But that is going to be a second inhibitor going down. This could be bad for the Chaos Vanguard. That is going to mostly nullify the Baron advantage they have currently. And now they're only 2k gold ahead. Moriarty's going to let Jack Sparrow have the blue buff, I suppose. This game could definitely go any direction currently. Gangster ADC is definitely still really scary. He is working on a mob Memorius, and then he'll be full build. Soul Cubester working on Dead Man's Plate. That's what it was. I'm trying to remember the name of that item. I haven't seen Dead Man's Plate in a while, actually. We do see Gangster ADC pushing that bottom wave. Yeah, this game is significantly closer. Supernova had a very convincing first win, but right now, this could go either way. Oh, Grimmy. Not sure what... Oh, there's almost Charm onto Moriarty. Hyun using his ult, but is not going to land on anyone. Hyun almost going down. Soul Cubester trying to engage onto Yen here, but he gets CC locked and eaten. Jack Sparrow trying to delay. There's a little stun on from Yen onto TD there. TD forced the flash. Monsoon, not quite enough. Murray is going to go down. Gangster ADC does pick up Brimmy, and oh my god, he ended up in Yen. That is a quadra kill. Scumbag TD taking the pentakill from Gangster ADC. That almost went really well for Supernova, but Gangster ADC untouched for most of the fight, very easily able to pick up lots of kills. He has full build now, and that is an enormous amount of DPS. Hyun almost going down to that turret. I don't think they can end it, but it's going to be super close. Wow, never mind. They're just doing a ton of damage to that turret. It's going to be... That is going to be the Chaos Vanguard taking this to a game 3. Dang old Twitch DPS on those turrets. Like, man, maybe they can't get it. Nope, they just destroyed those turrets so quickly. I forgot about... I didn't take Nunu's attack speed buff into account, which was my mistake. Wow. Supernova had control for a little bit, but that first Baron attempt did not go so well for them. From there, everything went downhill. This will be the first time in a while that we've seen our little weekend tournament go to a Game 3 in the finals. Does not happen very often. Join the lobby. Oops, I gotta change that. It's the Fonge. And let me adjust everything. I need to get another drink. Nope, before I forget, I better change. Let me go ahead and throw in a little music. I'm not. A little less awkward if there's some music. And now Supernova is going to go on back to the red side, and the Chaos Vanguard will be moving back to the blue side. I think. That should be how it goes. Or not. I'll adjust it if I need to. Getting another drink real quick. Yeah, this is going to be really bad for me. Alrighty then, everyone is in lobby. I have my drink, I am ready. Looks like they're all readying up. Champion select. There we go. This is the final round, period, of the Reverie Esports Open number 49. Oh, I got a little message, hold on. And right now, right off the bat, we see the Chaos Vanguard are not interested in letting Grammy play Zyra again. It seemed to work out for them, making him play Bard. He still played pretty well, but definitely less impact than what Zyra was having. We did see a Trundle ban also, and Maokai ban also. And I imagine we'll probably see Aurelia banned again as the last ban. So no changes probably from Chaos Vanguard targeting bans. Very interested to see if Supernova changes up anything here, though. Yep, they're still with the Swain ban. Let me reply to this message real quick. Yeah, there is the Aurelia ban. They are not interested in letting Cavell play that. I have actually looked up his profile. I probably should, but I imagine he is a Aurelia main. And now I'm really curious. I'm actually going to do that. What will be the last ban from Supernova? Vladimir. They are not interested in letting him play Vladimir. Yeah, he plays a lot of games Aurelia. Who knew? He's got a lot of other picks, though, but it is his second most played at 83. But he's pretty balanced overall. We see Silver Cube Rider locking in that LeBlanc. That'll be TD on LeBlanc, of course. He's not had a chance to play it. It's been banned every game until now. Possible oversight by Supernova? Or are they going to plan around it? Ooh. Supernova taking their time here. They have a number of options. Of course, everything is open currently. Cavell and Jack Sparrow. What do they want to play? 5 seconds. Pick. Fizz and Rek'Sai. So that is an interesting set of picks. Supernova is picking a lot of stuff we don't see very often. This is a Fizz pick. We've seen Rek'Sai before, but Fizz, however, we have not seen a lot of. Even if they lost, I am already a Moriatis fan. He's picking lots of non-standard champions to play. Cavell with the Ignite teleport. Could be top lane Fizz, I guess. I've played against those a couple times, and God, they're frustrating. Hyun picking the Nunu again. He had a pretty decent game. He struggled here and there, but he was able to do his job just fine. TD locking in the Caitlyn. That's going to, of course, be going to be for Gangster ADC. And Moriatis and Yen locking in the Nami and Lucian, respectively. So now we just need a top laner and a support for the Chaos Vanguard and a... I'm assuming that's a mid lane Fizz, but I guess technically it could be top lane. But so we need solo laner for Supernova. And TD hovering on... Sorry, not TD. Chaos Vanguard hovering on Janna, and once again the Volibear pick. They had a pretty strong game with Soul Key Buster on that Volibear. He was able to engage constantly, just flashing right in the middle of the team and flipping people. They haven't locked it in yet. They're taking their time. Wanting to make sure that they are absolutely positive this is what they want to play. And that is going to be locked in. That makes a pretty obvious comp for Chaos Vanguard. It's pretty close to what they played. Obviously making a couple of trades here and there. No Twitch this time, and they have LeBlanc in the mid lane. See Supernova taking their time. They like to take their time here. This is, of course, one of the times that if you had to take your time, you definitely want to take it now. Because this is... No more chances here. If you lose here, you lose until you play again, I guess. Until next week. If you choose to come back. I hope you guys do. This is going to be a top lane pick or a mid lane pick. I must know. I can't even speculate if you don't pick something. Come on, man. They are going to lock in the Azir. Very interesting choice. We don't see Azir picked too frequently, but... No, I should say not picked too frequently, picked into a LeBlanc, though I've definitely seen pretty good Azirs. And that is going to be a top lane Fizz. That is interesting. In the top lane, we have Solo Q Bus Rider on the Volibear once again, facing off against Cavell's top lane Fizz. In the jungle, we have Hyun on Nunu, facing off against Jack Sparrow's Rek'Sai. Burped a little bit. In the mid lane, we have TD on LeBlanc, facing off against Moriatis' Azir. And of course, last but certainly not least, in the bottom lane, we have Gangster ADC on Caitlyn, partnering up with MIR Mur on Janna. And they're going to face off against the Yen on Lucian and Gremmy on Nami. And with that, we are going to enter our 3-minute delay. We're going to take a brief moment to show off some little ads, take a little breather. We'll be back shortly. And we're back. We are in the loading screen for the last match of tonight. The final round of Reverie Esports Open number 49, Chaos Vanguard versus Supernova, is currently 1-1. Supernova took a convincing lead in the first game, but the last game was very even. Chaos Vanguard had the advantage for most of the game after a little misplay at Baron by Supernova. But Supernova hung in there pretty decently until the end. Gangster ADC was just so terrifying though on Twitch. I forget what the final score was, but he was 10-1 and 4 at some point. So definitely doing very well at full items. And there we go. This time I won't forget to change the border. Perfect. Whew. I'm definitely looking forward to this match. Seeing some unusual picks throughout the night. We don't see Volibear too often anymore. We don't see Nunu often. And we have a top lane Fizz with Ignite. No flash. This is either going to be amazing or it's going to backfire horribly on Cavell. Because he's probably going to build tanky. But it's still going to, might not work out so well. We do see that there is a little fight going on. Both of them are going at it. Hyun and Jack Sparrow are dancing and spamming their little emotes. Showing off their mastery. Very politely having a dance-off. Oh, there's TD. TD trying to get a little free damage. He did get a auto attack in there. Very rude. BM is real. BM is real. Moriarty's learning his lesson though from the last game. He's not gonna get chunked to half health. We see a pause right off the bat. That's not good. Hopefully it's nothing serious. I will take this brief moment to go ahead and once again plug our sponsors for those of you just joining us. First off, we do have Battlefly, which is basically, for those of you who have been in the tournament, you already know what it is. It's the website we use to help create our tournaments and brackets. Very easy and simple to use, very useful, very helpful. Middle, we have Law History app, which is basically a summoner lookup tool. It's like na.opgg, but instead of being on PC, you can find it on iPhones and Android. It's a free application. And last but certainly not least, we have Vibi, which is basically a website used to create highlights, and we're back. Pause is done. I would have expanded a little more on that last one, but we have the... No, we don't have anything to talk about. Nope, we see TD being really aggressive on that LeBlanc, getting some free damage on Moriarty's there. And Hyun is starting at Krugs. Actually, both junglers are starting at Krugs. Looks like everyone is getting back in time to the lanes, though. No one's going to miss any creeps. I look forward to seeing Cavell on this Fizz. I haven't seen a top lane Fizz in a while. Wants to get some harass in there, must apply that dot. But Solocu Buster playing back pretty safely. See it, Moriartis is playing back. Now TD did get to level 2 first. Moriartis taking a lot of damage. He's trying to return to him, but he's forced to flash. TD getting the ignite on. He is definitely currently playing with fire though. He is level 2 now, but he is very, very close to dead. TD wanted to look for an opportunity to jump in and finish him off. Since he does not have a flash now. He does still have exhaust though. See that Gangster ADC trying to keep up in CS, though Yen currently is taking the lead. And wow, in the top lane, Solocu Buster is actually really struggling in CS. I'm not sure what happened. He has a big wave, it looks like, from the map, so it looks like he will catch up, though. And something happened to mid lane. Now their health are reversed. TD's actually lower, and Moriatis is now higher. Very interesting. See that Hyun is going to be able to take out that ward. He does have the Raptor buff. Silky Butcher did catch up. He's still a little behind, but the deficit is not as terrifying as we first thought. He just got pushed in, basically. I'd say that would be really bad, being 4 CS to 16 right off the bat, but no, it's much smaller now. We do see that the blue buff on the... Ooh, Gas Vanguard. TD getting engaged by Moriatis there. There's the exhaust being popped. They do know where Hyun is at currently. The blue buff is warded on Cast Vanguard's side. You see a possible mid lane gank coming out of Jack Sparrow. This camera really likes that top lane, where nothing is happening. You see farming. And we're back in bottom lane now. We see Yen is going to go and harass that gangster to see a little bit. But Yen actually takes the most damage there, though he still has a minor CS lead. And they mid lane me to see that Moriatis decided to back. Probably not the worst decision. Let's see. Both teams are just going to play it safe until somebody makes a mistake. Cavell gonna go and get some free damage in. Ooh, Silky Butcher actually taking quite a bit of damage there. His passive is up though, so Cavell's gotta be careful not to get baited by that. He does not have his ult yet. He's still level 5. He does have Ignite, so he can counteract that ult. He gets level 6, he might go in, I imagine. That makes the most sense. Silky Butcher probably sensing that's what would happen, decides to back. Probably going to purchase some health. Yeah, purchase the Giant Belt. There is Moriatis taking some damage. He tries to get the Soldier Slow onto TD. TD forced to flash from the Jack Sparrow gank. Rek'Sai coming in from the side, tunneling in to try and give hugs for all. There's Moriatis taking a lot of damage. The snare does not land from TD. Here comes Hyun though. Jack Sparrow not landing the knockup on the Hyun. There's the snare from from TD on Moriatis. Moriatis does go down first blood, going to the LeBlanc. The Ignite to save the day. It is not good for Moriatis. Moriatis is doing a really excellent job, but with no flash, there was just no way for him to get out of that. Very unfortunate. See that Hyun is being very aggressive and placing some deep wards. He probably wanting to look for an opportunity to possibly solo Dragon again. He did that twice last game. Again, still gonna work on killing creeps. This bottom lane, not much is happening. Looks like Yen is being super aggressive with Grammy, but Mur is doing a very excellent job at shielding Gangster ADC. Moriatis looking to do some serious damage to TD there. Actually managed to drop him to half health. Murray's going to get slowed up by the empowered shots from Yen. TD not quite landing that snare onto Moriatis. They're actually pretty even in health now. But Moriatis is actually getting kind of low from that. Looks like he took minion damage. I thought he was higher health than that. And there's Hyun being super annoying. Just walks into the jungle and secures his own buff that Jacker was trying to steal. There's Moriatis taking the advantage in that mid lane. TD is forced to back off. Here comes Hyun to save the day though. He's going to go and try and scare off Moriatis, letting TD farm a little bit. Ooh, TD taking a little damage. There's the Harima shuffle onto Hyun. Hyun could be in big trouble. He's forced to flash. Nice move by Moriarty to basically get a flash for his ult. We do see Cavell wandering back to his top lane. CS is slightly in his favor, but he's working on Trinity Force first, actually. Very interesting. I mean, I think that's a Trinity Force. I guess technically he could build Matcher's Teeth, but if he's gonna go tanky, I probably need a Trinity Force. You see some pings going on to Dragon. Might see Supernova trying to steal that. See that TD is back in the mid lane dealing damage. He's actually ahead in CS currently. But I don't think that's going to deter Moriartis too much on that Azir. Cavell does get flipped by Soul Buster, but just dash right on out. Not interested in... And my phone just made noise. It's just an alarm. Good. Ooh, Cavell might be in trouble here. He's actually getting real low. Oh, there's a good ult by Cavell to disengage. But, definitely the advantage going to Subtle Best Rider there. TD looking for opportunities to assassinate Moriartis here. They are both, him and Hyun are visible on wards currently, though Hyun is taking out the pink ward. There's TD jumping in on Moriartis. The exhaust was popped. Oh, so Sully Buster doing what he can to harass Cavell. There's the flip. Sully Buster's passive is popped, so he is going to heal up a little bit. Cavell forced to back again. He's probably going to have to use TP to get back to the lane. Actually, did he back the first time? He had to have. I don't remember now. He's actually not going to TP. He just bought Phage and decides to retreat. There's TD jumping in on the Moriartis. Moriartis trying to get the shuffle into the turret, but of course with LeBlanc that does not matter, and the Ignite is enough to finish the job. A valiant attempt by Moriartis to not die, but to no avail, unfortunately. Jack Sparrow taking a little damage, but here comes Murr to save the day. He's going to leave a Gangster ADC to his own devices while he heads to mid lane. Ooh, both Gangster ADC and Yen taking a bit of damage there. Here comes Mert to save the day. He's being a real champion wandering around the map. See that CD has finished a item. Now he's gonna walk back to mid lane. Oh shoot! Oh, so Lucky Buster biting a minion on accident. Oh, he does pop his ult. Cavell could be in trouble here. The fish does not land. Here comes Hyun. Ooh, good. Oh, he could still be in trouble here. He does manage to dodge Hyun's ult, but oh, Hyun. Is it enough? He does end up going down. It is a 1-for-1. So the Chaos Vanguard does get the assist there. I bet bet Cavell is wishing he had some more CDR. Ooh, TD doing a lot of damage to Jack Sparrow here. TD jumping in and dashing right back out. Make sure you see dodging the water prison. I think water prison. It is a prison made of water. Lots of traps being placed by Gangster AC, looking to just farm. There's TD jumping in onto Moriata. The snare does not land, but he's still getting free attacks. Here comes Jack Sparrow on his neighborhood-friendly Rek'Sai. Oh, Moriatis is super low now. He's slowly getting chewed to pieces by TD's LeBlanc. And there is TD jumping in, but not sure Moriatis can get out of this one. He's super low. There is TD jumping on in to finish the job. Not much Jack Sparrow could do there. He is just being kited and slowed up by... Oh, there's Cavell to save the day. TD is going to get shut down. Cavell, unfortunately, not able to flip over the wall. He's probably going to go down here. Yeah, there is the Caitlyn ult from the Gangster ADC. That was unfortunate. Playful Trickster, he failed to Trickster over the wall. That must feel bad. That feels bad, man. Feels bad. That is going to be Chaos Vanguard picking up that mid lane turret as first turret of the game and going down. We see possible pings onto Dragon. They want to go for the big money here. They are going to start it with the... Very likely that they're going to get it. Gangster ADC is going to basically use the traps to zone. Here comes Jack Sparrow and company though, but Nunu Smite, not much they can do to stop that. And Gangster ADC doing a little BM, does net over the wall. It'd been funny if he failed it, forced a flash. Jack Sparrow gonna take out that pink ward. My nose itches a little bit. Sorry about that. Not sure where that ping was at, but we just see some pings in the bot lane. They do know that TD is fairly close. A roaming LeBlanc is quite terrifying. So Fish are actually taking a little bit of damage there. There's Cavell with the Ignite and the Fish. Not much he can do. He is going to go down to that. Silkfish are working towards that turn force. He's getting real close. You see that Silkfish is kind of bouncing around on items there. He has the Bambi Center Giant Build and the Chain Vest. So he could get Deadmans and Force Fire. See Borealis trying to get some damage on the TD. There is the Stream of Shuffle, but he does get ignited and damaged. Is the heal enough? It is not. TD picks up another kill on the Moriatis. He's desperately trying to get that Abyssal Scepter for the... And even then, he still needs... Probably needs some health as well. See that Cavell does back out. He does pick up that Trinity Force. Solar Bastard is already back into the top lane, though. There's Yen. They're engaging on a Yen here. He does get locked up by the prison. There's the knock-up by Jack Sparrow. Don't think Hyun... well, right as I say that, he flashed over the wall. Takes a lot of damage, but he is able to get out. Though, of course, a summoner was popped for it. Silkfish are slowly going to whittle away at this turret. Here comes Cavell. Cavell does get an auto attack in, but he does get frenzied bit in the face. Cavell's just going to engage hard. He's got that Trinity Force. There's the Fish. Silkfish is in pretty big trouble here. There's the Playful Trickster, Law, and is able to easily pick up that kill. See, TD is wandering up to that top lane. Cavell does dodge the snare, but he does have minion support too. TD might be in trouble? No. He's going to be able to dash out, but he dashes. He does go back. Cavell's doing a pretty decent job juking, but I don't think he has much more in him. does end up going down to TD, who is, of course, naturally extremely fed right now. Maybe not extremely. Extremely might be an exaggeration. But while he roams the top, we do see that Moriatis and Jack Sparrow are going to be able to push down the turret. In the bot lane, we have a fight going on. Murr gets a double knockup. Gangster was exhausted. There is the water prison onto Murr. Cavell not able to get in, or sorry, not Soulkeeper not able to get in there and flip some people. Ugh. That stuck in my throat still. The Yen kind of aggressive here. We do see Soulkeeper is forced to flash. Murr is also forced to flash. Get a full 5-man roam to that bot lane, looking to pick up some kills, but nothing came of it. It looks like everybody is roaming to that bot lane now, with the exception of Hyun. KS Vanguard currently with a small lead from mostly CS and kills. Actually, maybe, yeah, no? No, only one person has a CS advantage, so I don't know. Just the kills, I guess. God, I'm still tired. Sorry if I start to wander a bit with my thoughts during this match. I'm feeling a little tired. You see that Jackson's gonna take out those wolves, showing him who's boss. See some pings going on into Supernova's jungle, but just rewards. TD looking for opportunities to pick squishies. Oh, there's Hyun taking some damage. There's TD jumping in on to Yen. Yen does go down. That was a lot of damage. We just see that it, well, of course, yeah, TD does have that Luna's Echo now. Hyun is taking on Cavell, but Cavell's gonna use his ult onto Gangster. He's gonna dive in there. There's a heal. He's not quite enough to take down TD, but TD doesn't end up going down to Jack Sparrow. And Hyun is slowly gonna chase down Grimmy with Gangster picking up a triple kill there. And Soulkeeper stealing it. What a thief. Bears are thieves, you know. And looks like Chaos Faker are doing a ballsy move to try and take Baron right at 21 minutes. With a Nunu, it's definitely possible. Here comes Yen, looking to steal maybe? He does not get it. Very hard to naturally steal against a Nunu. Currently, Chaos Vanguard has pretty close to full control of the game. See that Dragon is up as well currently. Oh, TD jumping on in to melt half of Yen's health bar. Yen not having, I should just say the fan. Most of everybody on Supernova's team is having a bit of a time. And there is a flash consume by Hyun to take that dragon, giving him their second dragon. Cavell getting slowed and knocked up and eventually bursted by TD. See some pings going on onto that south jungle. It looks like they want to give TD that blue buff. That was the Caitlyn on the Yen, but Jack Sparrow does a little bit of a job to block it. But with no one to defend the turret, it is very easily and quickly going to go down to Chaos Vanguard's combined might. See that Baron buff there, easily going to be able to take that turret, but there's the Nami ultimate. Hyun taking a lot of damage. The Jack Sparrow not quite taking it, does end up melting. And the whole time we have Gangster ADC slowly whittling the enemy team down. Only survivor right now is Cabell, who does get monsooned into the wall. And he then does get locked up with a kill going to TD. This could possibly be game. They still have Baron buff and they have a full minion wave. And I do believe that is going to be game. We see summoners disconnecting, GGs are coming out. A valiant attempt by Supernova to take the game back, but Chaos Vanguard, after their first loss, made a full recovery. They basically reversed how the first game went. So congratulations to the Chaos Vanguard for taking this week's championship. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. I know I made some minor errors with casting, and I know I'm not the best caster, but I hope you guys enjoyed the show. GG's to all teams for participating. May take a quick look to see who won third place before I go. Third place, for those of you who missed it, was between, let's see, it was Polar GG and Desperado Gaming, with Desperado Gaming taking third place. So congratulations to our first, second, and third place teams, KS Vanguard, Supernova, and Desperado Gaming. I hope we see everyone again next week, and I'm going to go ahead and bid you guys adieu. Night.